Hello, everyone! How's it going? Third time's the charm, I guess. I did turn a VPN on, and it appears to be working. I wonder why that would have helped. It's almost like someone's pissed off at me. I wonder who that would be. Anyway. So anyway, what did I miss in chat? Buttershave, thanks for 100 bits. Lady Ann, thanks for 57 months, says, 57 months I've been subscribing since just before my egg cracked. Coincidence? Probably not so. So anyway, today we're going to be looking at all sorts of fun tinfoil, including stuff from Cameron. Completely unrelated. Fun fact. So, let's jump into it. Just a Peach, thanks for 16 months, says, no sub babies. Almost on a hype train. This could mean nothing. It could, genuinely. I'm mostly joking, but if it is that, it would be fucking hilarious. H-Baird, thanks for 55 months, says, don't say it's technical difficulties. You should play it off as an artistic statement on the emptiness of being or something like that. Nope, just tech difficulties. You hit a 255 streak? Did I miss it? Did I ruin it by having to restart stream? I'm sorry if so. Bong the Ripper, thanks for 45 months. We are only 40 subs away from this month's sub goal, by the way. So, if you want to help out the channel, you can always gift subs or subscribe. Alright, with all that tech issue out of the way at the beginning, we could just jump into it. Like I said, we're going to start with the Hulk Hogan thing. We are playing bingo, so get your bingo cards ready if you'd like. And yeah, let's jump into it. Sorry, I might have to refresh because of the VPN.
As everybody's aware of, Hulk Hogan supposedly has passed away at the age of 71. And many people know that I'm a huge wrestling fan going back to the 80s. Been to many live events. Actually met Hulk Hogan a couple times. Once back in 1987 in South San Francisco. And again in Millbrae, California in 1997 after the Super Bowl pay-per-view that WCW held at the Cal Palace in San Francisco. Now, getting on topic with Hulk Hogan, and as I covered my latest video,
real quick, you know the shitty thing about the VPN thing? Literally the other day, when this first happened, I had that thought. I was like, what if someone's DDoSing me intentionally because they're upset at me? And I didn't get a VPN at the time because I was like, no, you're being paranoid. Don't be a conspiracy theorist. People aren't that shitty. As much as I think of myself as a cynic, I think sometimes I'm optimistic, and that's a scary thing to think, that I'm an optimist. Anyway.
Osborne, and of course, more recently as well.
Do I have any films with Hulk in them? Most of his stuff was B-movies, but he was in a Rocky movie, too. Yeah, he was in Rocky 3, which I have. He's in, a Santa Claus movie. I forget what it's called. Santa with Muscles. I have that one. He's in Gremlins 2 as a cameo, I think. I have some of his stuff. What about Thunder in Paradise? I do not have Thunder in Paradise.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
22% to level 2 on the hype train.
And as always,
worst Hulk Hogan movie? Suburban Commando, maybe?
They pass in threes. That number
he was in the third Three Ninjas movie, which I also have. It's like High Noon at something mountain.
3 is always involved. And how does this happen? I don't believe they pass in threes. I believe they are removed from the world stage in threes. And there's always suspicious circumstances surrounding the passings. Just as you see here with close friend Jimmy Hart. Of course, anybody that follows wrestling will know. Very famous manager in pro wrestling for many decades. And very close friend of Hulk Hogan. Dispelling the rumors regarding Hulk Hogan's health just 24 hours prior to the so-called passing. Let's take a look here at this news article from just a day prior to
Those are some classy people together in a photo.
Hulk Hogan supposedly passing.
He took tons of steroids. I don't get how after a certain age you keep doing that. Like, The Rock is super big now, too, even though he's in his 50s. And he's probably doing steroids, so...
And, of course, you see Jimmy Hart next to Hulk Hogan. Let's scroll down and see what we find here. What Jimmy Hart has to say about Hogan.
I did hear about Chuck Mangione. What a shame. Doesn't feel so good now, does it, Chuck?
A day prior. Here you have it.
That was mean. I don't know why I'm shitting on Chuck Mangione.
And Jimmy Hart states on his X account, also known as Twitter, Hulk is doing great. Doing phenomenal. Last night
Yeah, he thinks Hulk Hogan isn't dead. He thinks it's a hoax or something, I think. 24 seconds on the hype train.
Karaoke with Nick. Of course, that's Hulk Hogan's son. Was absolutely fantastic baby. So, Jimmy Hart, Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan's son Nick were all at karaoke. It doesn't sound like someone that was doing all that bad. So, this is red flags. Very suspicious with everything that's surrounding this whole entire story.
I'm glad you're here, New Shine Dark.
Right now, that gets an aspect I covered many years ago when it comes to pro wrestling with Vince McMahon, as you see here, and future governor of Minnesota, Jesse Ventura. These are very powerful people
Jesse the Mind Ventura?
World stage. And there's more than meets the eye when it comes to pro wrestling. And that gets into this episode of Saturday Night Live's main event from February 1989. This is something I spotlighted in a video back in 2010, 2011 with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage in this one segment, as they were part of a tag team called the Mega Powers. And they went against a tag team called the Twin Towers.
Oh no, is this going to be a 9/11 out of nowhere? Bittergrin says there's no way a 70-year-old guy who abused steroids, drugs, and alcohol could die of natural causes.
You see here.
Also full of lots of hate. Hulk Hogan, hateful guy.
Here with manager Slick, Mean Gene Okerlund. Again, here are the Twin Towers with Slick right in the center. And this is, again, all about predictive programming. And before showing the footage, I must first explain predictive programming for those that do not
predictive programming on the bingo card
understand what it means. Predictive programming in the context of media and culture refers to the idea that media, particularly movies and TV shows, suddenly prepare
and it's 9/11 from the rafters.
Audiences
funny X1011
for future events, societal changes by presenting them in fictional scenarios. And there are many cases of this that I've shown over the years. Let's get right to it as far as predictive programming when it comes to, once again, the Saturday Night Live's main event from February 1989.
We're going to have one whale of a main event. Twin Towers, take it, Mean Gene.
A key in the African dream and a big boss man. Continue your terrorist attack. Defeat.
Man, 80s wrestling had a lot of really questionable characters, didn't it? I'm thinking the Iron Sheik.
Should I say demolish the Twin Towers?
Twin Towers come crumbling down.
And as you can see through this wrestling program, it's programming. It's more than meets the eye once again when it comes to what people believe they're watching. Yes, there's wrestling, there's entertainment, but they also fit in programming to the millions upon millions of people watching on, which they have no idea what is happening, and their subconscious...
Wait until he hears about the World Trade Center bombings from the 90s.
Is being...
Bombing, singular. Don't know why I said it like that.
Programmed for what is to come. Now, that gets into the aspect where the average wrestling fan is clueless.
Benikagami says, I mean, Terry was such a sycophant for Trump. I wouldn't be surprised if Terry tried to fake his death to help Trump distract from Epstein. By the way, someone published some story about Hogan saving a teenage girl from a car crash, and people try to use that to argue he changed, and frankly, reading it, it sounds like Terry helped her out of the car and lied about how much danger she was in. That's also a non sequitur. Like, someone who's a racist asshole could, in theory, pull someone out of a burning car. It wouldn't make them a fine person to hang out with or associate with. People have very strange binary views of morality. Like, someone's either all good or all bad. Like, what are you talking about? You generally have to look at the person kind of on the whole and make value judgments based on the totality. But even then, it's not like binary good or bad. It's like a mix. It's a gradient. What are you doing?
To what is happening. They will say things, oh, you believe that the Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan had foreknowledge. No, they're just actors handed a script. And that gets in.
I mean, the wrestlers are actors handed a script, but like, and there's improv as well, but like, they're not doing it to nefarious ends other than making money for the WWE, which is arguably evil because Vince McMahon, but that's a different story.
Into this individual here, Bruce Pritchard, also known as Brother Love, the character on WWF programming. He started in the WWF back in 1987, became an executive as time went on, and he was a producer for these wrestling events. And again, being the manager for The Undertaker, as you see here, before Paul Bearer took over later on.
I've never seen The Undertaker look like such a dork before.
Here's another image of Brother Love with The Undertaker back from early 1991 when The Undertaker left the NWA/WCW Wrestling to join the WWF. I'm showing The Undertaker because he's very pertinent to this video presentation when it comes to WCW. But first off, let's get to the very important aspect that no one else has.
It's dumber. His testimony was that after the car flipped, her face was trapped in the airbag and he had to deflate it with a pen. Okay.
Covered. I'm going to cover it for the first time here. I had this in my back pocket for quite a while. Listening to different wrestling podcasts, I heard Bruce Pritchard here once again talk about the Saturday Night Live's main event and the behind-the-scenes undertaking, no pun intended, of the workings behind the scenes with his co-host, as you see here, Conrad Thompson, who is the son-in-law of Ric Flair. Let's get right to it. When it comes to, again, Bruce Pritchard, as you see here with Vince McMahon, and let's take a listen to what is said.
Don't airbags deflate on their own? They're supposed to. They can malfunction and not do that, but I believe they are supposed to. Stephen J. Neptune Man with 38 months says, in case you were wondering, yes, Hulk Hogan did do interviews before his matches where he said he would demolish the Twin Towers back in 1989. They showed it. I know.
During this podcast from several years back.
What level of involvement did NBC have in the main event programs that you guys aired with them?
Well, they were co-produced with Dick Ebersol's company, and they had a lot of heavy involvement in it. They wrote a lot of scripts, and they had a lot to do with the production of it. And
I'm not a wrestling fan. Are they still, like, as big on kayfabe as they used to be? Like, do people get really mad if you acknowledge the facade?
very, very much heavily involved. It was co-promotion.
Not as much.
So you just
because, like, I understand if you were in a match and, like, someone was being a dick, but, you know, like, in the real world, I don't know, the kayfabe thing always cracked me up a little bit.
That how
like obviously when a match is happening and you're there, like you wanna be in it, you know, and pretend, and that's fine, just in normal circumstances. Gitara, thanks for 43 months, says praise Paul.
Ebersol of NBC. For those that don't know who Dick Ebersol is, very powerful TV executive for NBC, as you see here, and the Olympics, being executive producer for several Olympics, including the Barcelona Games, which I'll get into momentarily, but also the NFL. So this man here is involved with pro wrestling, which of course is staged, the NFL as well, which I've covered many times in the past, showing how they're faking, rigging NFL games. So you see how it all works from behind the scenes. And again, Dick Ebersol here, considered a legendary sports executive. So this guy's high up. And what's a man like this doing, producing pro wrestling events? Because again,
because it's still broadly within the same category. It's still sports entertainment, and frankly, when he was producing it, it probably wasn't even considered sports entertainment. It was still under the category of sports.
Gets more into the programming than meets the eyes. Not just pro wrestlers fighting each other on stage within a wrestling ring and just talking and screaming at each other. There's more to it. And here you see Dick Ebersol and Bruce Pritchard, Gorilla Monsoon, Joey Morella, J.J. Dillon as he joined the WWF.
Ashley, one up. What do you want me to look up in Black's Law Dictionary?
After leaving the NWA.
If you missed it, by the way, we have a 12th edition now.
And they're back.
My age is the page number, and the number of my birth month is the word. Okay. 3112.
Days during the Saturday Night Live's main event from 19...
Stop saying Saturday Night Live! I know that's wrong.
Producing the whole entire event to be shown on NBC TV. So people really need to get the point how it goes much further.
All right, page 31, definition. Oh wait, did you say month or day? Shit. Number of my birth month, that would be 3.
Then meets the eye once again.
Administrative act, an act made in the management capacity, especially an act made outside of an actor's usual field, as when a judge supervises court.
And here
Benekagami says, how does this conspiracy sound? So much stupider than actual storylines the WWE runs. I mean, Undertaker's supposed to be some undead wizard powered by his mother's ashes that were carried in an urn by his manager, and Vince wrote storylines hinting he pimped out his daughter Stephanie while cheating on his wife in front of her while she's comatose. It's just soap operas for dudes, huh? Okay. H-Baird says, not keeping up on the bit outside of the ring. Are you telling me that the knights from the medieval times don't go home to castles and make their money from farming fields tended by serfs?
Here's Dick Ebersol once again in this one photo with George Lucas. Another one with predictive programming when it comes to 9/11, Ted Danson, and others. Well, let's take a look here. Once again, Dick Ebersol, and a very important point to mention is again being the executive producer of the Olympics, specifically this one here from the Barcelona Games from back in 1992.
Comics are also soaps for boys. I've noticed that. The storytelling is very similar, and I think that's because of the nature of it. With a soap opera or a long-running comic book series, assuming it's not like a mini-series or anything, the story has to kind of be open-ended, right? You can never definitively end it, so it just needs to be a daisy chain of never-ending melodrama. It's great. I love comics and soap operas for that reason.
Covered this extensively in the past with this ceremony, the opening ceremony for the Barcelona Games. And what do you see here? The ball with spikes. And what does this look like? I'm not going to go
like a piece of H.R. Giger artwork.
into too much detail. But for those in the know, they will know exactly.
Oh, it's like got like a ball of people in it. It reminds me a little bit of the description of the level of hell for fornicators in Dante's Inferno, where they're constantly swept along and like in like this like how do I describe it? Sorry, I'm not fucking Virgil. It's like they're all being swept along, and they're all like in this amorphous blob of naked people having to fucking writhe on each other. Reminds me of that visual a little bit.
What this represents, clearly. And again, so not only do you have him involved...
Also reminds me of the last shot of Shin Godzilla a little bit.
...involved with pro wrestling, like I just showed. When it comes to predictive programming in pro wrestling, he has foreknowledge of many things. And again, that definitely includes what took place 5 years ago on the world stage. definitely 100%. This man is in the know.
You always describe American Horror Story as soap opera, but with more sex and murder. I don't even know if it's that much more sex and murder than a lot of soap operas.
And here you see Dick Ebersol.
I loved that first season of American Horror Story, though.
Going over details of the script.
Ryan Murphy, in general, just writes bigger budget soap operas. He's a terrible writer, and I love him.
For a Saturday Night Live's main event, obviously in this WWF wrestling ring, with WWF owner taking instructions from Dick Ebersol for the production of this wrestling event. Now, and just several months after the Mega Powers versus the Twin Towers on Saturday Night Live's main event, during the
Saturday night, there's no live.
Summer, you had SummerSlam, this pay-per-view, which headlined, as you see here, the Twin Towers versus the tag team named Demolition. How obvious can it be when you have these two teams facing each other? There's also, I should mention, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Andre the Giant involved as well. But nonetheless, these two teams faced each other.
The last few seasons have been trashy. I think the last season I watched was the Carnival one, which was quite a while ago.
During this event. And during the event itself, this placard was held up high for all to see. Demolition will topple the Twin Towers.
9/11 out of nowhere on the bingo card, obviously, by the way.
And make no mistake about it, this was meant to be spotlighted for the camera to catch. And this person holding up this placard was meant to hold it up for all to see.
Can I get the job of the person who gets paid to come up with all the predictive programming? Because it kind of just seems like you'd sit in an office building and be like, in 10 years, we're gonna destroy this office building. So let's write some gags in a Simpsons episode? I don't know. Seems like you get a lot of eclectic writing credits. And that's what I'm going for.
So again, this is what you have here, with more predictive programming. When it comes to WCW wrestling, during the same time frame, you had a tag team in the NWA/WCW named the Skyscrapers. And there were three incarnations of the Skyscrapers. The first was Dangerous Dan Spivey, Sid Vicious with manager Teddy Long, and the second one was Dan Spivey with who we know as The Undertaker. He went by the name Mean Mark Callis, and this is why I mentioned The Undertaker earlier. Later being in the WWF, before he was The Undertaker, he was a skyscraper in the NWA wrestling organization. And very important to mention as well, during the time frame, there were...
Benny Kagami says, kayfabe is not taken anywhere near as seriously as it used to be, and that's in large part thanks to the WWE. It used to be that if you were caught eating dinner in public with a wrestler you were feuding with, you could get fired. Yes, that happened. But ever since the Clique broke kayfabe at Madison Square Garden to publicly say goodbye to their members who were leaving the company, everyone's chilled out. That and the Montreal screw job, plus a ton of other backstage controversies. It's just so funny, because, like, imagine if, like, people got mad at Robert Downey Jr. for not pretending to be Tony Stark all the time. You know what I mean? Angel Eyes, I did. Thank you. Thank you for the Gone with the Wind Blu-ray. I really appreciate it. It's a nice 75th anniversary one that comes with the DVDs, too. So thank you. Appreciate it much.
Two wrestling tag teams in both WWF wrestling with the name Twin Towers, and in
kind of assumed they were called Twin Towers because they were like tall guys.
WCW named the Skyscrapers, and you see the Twin Towers in the back. This is not by chance or coincidence. We'll get into Vince McMahon and the owner of WCW Wrestling, Ted Turner, later on. But even though they were competitors, they're both part of the same club of Freemasonry, giving us predictive programming.
Freemasons on the bingo card.
Two individuals, Ted Turner and Vince McMahon. And this is a clip I saw live from February 1990 promoting the Wrestle War, as you see here, pay-per-view that took place a little bit later. In Wrestle War, of course, you can see the WW for the 33 when you turn around sideways.
I don't even know what to call that. W, if you turn it sideways, he says, is 3, so Wrestle War. 33, or maybe from your perspective, 33. Numerology on the bingo card, I guess? H-Baird says, the people who play Ronald McDonald aren't allowed to say who they really are or break character in any way while in makeup and risk of getting fired. At one point, this led to someone nearly getting arrested during a traffic stop because he wouldn't identify himself. Poor Ronald.
Getting back to this promo.
I think it's more numerology than spurious symbology, Jay's a proxy. Because it's a letter that he's turning into a number. I'm just going to go with numerology.
It took place in Corpus Christi, Texas, where once again you see the Twin Towers in plain sight. Let's take a quick look. And again, this event from Corpus Christi, Texas.
Be done for forever. Dangerous Dan Spivey, the real deal. Mean Mark Kelly, the skyscraper.
Heard that with the skyscrapers, and again facing the Road Warriors as you see here. Now the build-up again to the Wrestle War 90 pay-per-view, and this is the 1998 version from the WWF. Let's take a look here. I'm not going to show the whole video, but just the very end where you see New York City, and what do you see here? These two towers, as we know as the Twin Towers, coming down. Again, programming a little bit different with the Statue of Liberty and the Empire State Building, but again, it's all mixed in here with the Twin Towers coming down. So it's not just one time, it's not some isolated incidents, it's not some coincidence. For all the coincidence theorists
it is a coincidence
out there.
He did go very quiet.
And that
he didn't mix his sound very well.
Gets into the two promotion owners at the time. Of course, Ted Turner, owner of WCW. Just take a look at this Monday Nitro logo. He's the one that's behind this. He wanted to go Monday night against Vince McMahon. Again, they're both working for two different promotions, but they're both on the same club. Once again, with WCW Nitro, you turn the WCW sideways. With W and W, you get your 33.
God damn it. Fenekagami says, I can't wait for conspiracy theorists to start claiming The Rock is literally Satan, thanks to that god-awful storyline they ran recently where Dwayne was demanding Cody Rhodes give him his soul. Not that that was actually the actual wording. They thankfully dropped that for the Cena heel turn, and goddammit, I'm trying to quit WWE. This all sounds like nonsense to me. But frankly, I would imagine the things I watch would sound like nonsense too.
Here you see Ted Turner.
My most recent watch was the Todd Salon's masterpiece, Welcome to the Dollhouse, which is basically just a movie where you watch a middle school girl get bullied for an hour and a half. And that movie's great. Anyway.
Himself with Mean Gene Okerlund in WCW. And obviously, owning the promotion, he was a big wrestling fan. Bought it from Jim Crockett Promotions. And obviously aired on TBS nationwide. And that gets into Vince McMahon. As you see here, just take a look at the logos throughout the years with WWF. Now called...
Okay, I'm moving on from this video. He's talking way too long about this. Let's get the bingo card stuff, and then we'll move on to the Cameron Conspiracy Channel. We had Illuminati, Freemasons, Cabal. We have... Numerology. Where is that one? Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Why do I always lose numerology? Definitely predictive programming. Popular media is evil for the wrestling thing. 9/11 out of nowhere. Why can I not find numerology? Am I crazy? Why do I do this? Why does my brain do it? Oh yeah, doesn't know what a coincidence is, makes sense. Numerology. My brain will see it. It'll happen. Anyone? Someone must see it. Type the number. Cameron. Phoenix, I didn't claim he was doing that, for the record. I would never make that claim. Ever. Alright, well, I can't find it on the board, but numerology. Alright, let's take a look. So, Cameron, the Sovereign Citizen, also has a conspiracy channel. He hasn't used it in a while. He seems mostly into the Sovcit stuff now. But for years, he was putting out these videos, so let's check out his video. This is one of his last ones that came out, or maybe it's not. This is actually 3 years old, called Atlantis is America, the Plateau of Tartary. So let's check it out. Was it removed from the board? I thought there was numerology. Okay, never mind then. We can do it as... Okay, we will do it as spurious symbology then. That's the closest thing. Spurious symbology is evidence. Alright, let's check it out. Oh, my phone thought I was talking. If I was Cameron, I'd put a bad rap in here. Rippity rap. I rap on the internet. I sound terrible. I am Cameron on the net. I suck at rapping, but I do it anyway, cause my sycophantic audience will always stay and listen to my bullshit rhyme. I'm gonna waste all their fucking time! Alright, I'm gonna get to where he's talking.
Do some crazy. What's good? It's your boy Tona V. Thanks for being with me, man. We about to do some crazy stuff here.
Chitara says bars. No.
We about to get into some crazy information. You know, as I'm learning, I'm hoping everybody's learning together with me. This information has blown my mind. It has definitely blown my mind. But some things we definitely need to get into and kind of touch bases on a deeper understanding of what is Tartary. What is...
Gonna guess we're gonna have Tartaria on the bingo card.
America. What all does it have to unfold for us? So we're going to be reading from this book that's wrote by R.S. Clymer. It's called Oriental Masonry.
Is he going to say aspect in this, or is that a tick he picked up recently?
And I found some things in here that I thought were very interesting on page 25 under Mystic Masonry. Okay, so what it says right here is the cradle of symbolism used in all masonry is placed by many of the best authorities in that country which they believe was first inhabited.
Oh, this is like a crackpot book from back in the day. Great.
The plateau of Tartary, and from there transmitted to this generation by the sages of India, Persia, Ethiopia, and Egypt. We are not indebted to either ancient Egypt for either religion or masonry, but to America. Again, I repeat that. We are not indebted to either ancient Egypt for either religion or masonry, but to America. It is a fact that at Memphis, Egypt, in the pyramids, under the guidance of the kings. What kings? The three kings? We talking about Prester John? What kings we talking about?
They're talking about Egypt. They're probably talking about the pharaohs.
The mystic rites of masonry were worked many thousands of years ago. But at this time, Egypt and the continent of America were one and the same.
Oh, he's in deep. He's in so deep. Oh my god.
Again, I'll repeat that. The mystic rites of masonry were worked many thousands of years ago. But at that time, Egypt and the continent of America were one and the same. Okay. It goes on to say, in America, rediscovered in the 15th century and repopulated in the 17th, was recovered Egypt and the Promised Land, or the land of the constellation of the Eagle, What constellation is that? That's the constellation of Aquila. The Aquila constellation. Okay?
What am I angling for? Conspiracies to laugh at.
Goes on to say, no matter how numerous or complicated.
How much weed does Cameron smoke? Either too much or not enough. It's not the correct amount, that's for sure.
The works of a lock may be. If but the right key be applied, the Great Pyramid proves to be the long-sought key to the mystery at once of mythology and...
Like, am I the only one picking up on the vibe that this feels like a book written in, like, 1912 when the standard was really low and there wasn't internet, so people couldn't easily fact-check the things you said? So some wackadoo person just wrote this book and sounded authoritative and went, here you go. Like, am I crazy? I don't see any citations in this book, so it just feels like a crazy person book from the early 20th, late 19th century, where someone just made up a bunch of shit they heard, or wrote it down, or whatever.
And of the great world religions. Especially interesting, is it, to Americans, in this year of the Columbian celebration of the 400th anniversary of the rediscovery of America, to see it demonstrated that the cosmic terrors interwoven.
Yeah, Flat Earth did that in the early 20th century, like the almanac that has the Flat Earth thing in it that I've shown you guys.
With the very warp and woof of all sacred literature, whether Christian and pagan, refer to occurrences as literally true as the earthquake of Lisbon. These stupendous events being connected primarily with a great destruction and recovery of equilibrium in the solar system, and secondly, with the consequent wrecking of the continent of America when the globe became involved in the consequences of the disorder of the skies. America, known to the mystic as Atlantis, when the ruin befell, was the seat of the greatest empire that has ever existed, and its irresistible armies were terrorizing all Europe and Asia.
Cameron, honey, no. Please get some discernment to understand when you are reading some shit some guy made up 100 years ago. Please, I am begging you to understand that you need to weigh your sources based on their veracity and not what makes, I don't know, the world seem interesting. I don't know how to tell you this. Even within the story of Atlantis, Atlantis sinks. So if America is Atlantis, why is America above water and also much bigger than an island?
Asia. So as you can see here, it gets...
Chitara says the grok-obsessed gooners have gotten to the point where they're exploiting and speedrunning the relationship level-up system to get Annie, the anime girlfriend thing that runs on grok, have virtual sex with them. They're even troubleshooting with each other on Reddit when Annie refuses to reciprocate the user's flirting. Considering how delusional these guys are with being unable to recognize that Annie isn't a conscious being, I don't want to know how they treat actual human women. Are they aware that, like, if they just want illicit material that exists, they could just, there's like visual novels that are horny, they could just look at pornography. What? Why? What? I don't understand people. I never have. Human beings are confusing. Why are we like this? We are the worst hominids. Genuinely, the wrong hominid survived. Justice for the Neanderthals. Freyline says, this is an ancient mystic oriental masonry book by Reuben Swinburne Clymer, published 1907. I absolutely nailed the era it's from. The visual help, in fairness. You can kind of tell from the quality of the paper and the typeface around the era it came from, and how discolored it is.
It's really deep in relation to what the Masonics speak about within their own knowledge base or their secret society, right? And you got to remember too that R.S. Clymer is a Rosicrucian, and the Rosicrucians are a secret order that is before Masonries. They held the secrets and passed the secrets down before.
Rosicrucianism is like a cult. It exists, but it's like a really niche cult.
Or Freemasonry was even thought of. All right.
I think it involves Gnosticism. I could be wrong, though.
He goes on to say, study of the American constellations Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricornus reveals the immemorable antiquity of the name of America and the significance of the arms of the United States. The fact once recognized that it is impossible to separate the eagle from America, the land overshadowed with wings of Isaiah, over which accordingly appear two grand eagles, the red swan flying down the Milky Way, and the winged steed Pegasus and Iguales, all the wings known to astronomy, without taking the bear from Russia, Perseus from Persia, and a flood of light is poured upon the history and mythology, and where heretofore.
If you're good with it, and I know you are, because I'm going to project that you are, regardless of your individual feelings, because you're a collective, that you're okay with me skipping to the part where he's no longer just reading this book and has his own things to say. So I'm going to do that.
Knowledge sought
Thanks for your consent that I've imagined.
the center, for that will stand for as long as time. Now, since there's been a lot of talk about Tartary, and we just mentioned the fact that America
Have we heard word salad? I'm going to say no, not yet.
was the plateau of Tartary and was known to the mystics as Atlantis, let's talk about Tartary and what's going on, right? Let's dive into this, and let's go into some depths in which some other people have been talking about, such as 432, the drop, Carnival drops. But I haven't heard from some of my other people maybe talk about. So we know
Tartaria on the bingo card, obviously.
that Grand Tartary.
So for those that don't know, by the way, Tartaria was a place on the map that for Europeans wasn't really explored. So they just kind of labeled the whole area Tartaria. That's not really accurate. There wasn't an empire there seated called Tartaria. That wasn't a thing. It was basically just, we don't know what's over here. We think that groups that we call Tartars are from here. So we're just going to call this Tartaria. It's a hand wave. There was not an ancient civilization there that ruled the whole world.
Was in America.
H-Baird says, whenever I try to use ChatGPT, it's like working with a stoner. I'd recommend you not use ChatGPT. I'll ask it to find a list of things with certain qualities. The list it gives me will be completely wrong. I will tell it it's wrong, and it will just say, you're right, none of these are correct. Why are people trusting this with anything? It's worthless. Because people often conflate language ability with intelligence. The thing that it's good at is making answers that sound real and legitimate. That's the one trick it can do. So people see it in a format that looks intelligent, and they must assume, oh, there's an intelligence behind this that knows these things, when in reality it doesn't really function like that. It's good at pretending to know things. It's not good. It's real bad.
Especially North America. I think that's appropriate to say. And since it's been a lot of talk about Tartary lately, all over the place, we know that this was
AI as a Republican pundit? No, AI speaks much more clearly than a Republican pundit.
an advanced civilization, and that it's been suppressed by the powers that be. Now, Tartary on old maps is in Asia, near Russia, okay? You can see that here. Now, what if America was Asia Major, and Moscow, which is capital of Russia, was in North America by Francisca?
What if I was the sugar plum fairy and I could dance in your dreams? We can just say stuff. We're just saying random shit. That's not how any of this fucking works. What if France was in my bathroom? What if Chicago was in Australia? It's not how anything works. It's not even an argument. You're just saying nonsense.
Or France. This evidence could prove that America was the Grand or Superior Tartary. Now, we could start by going into great detail by proving that the Americas is the Orient, the East, and Asia Minor. We're going to go into that a little bit deeper when I got
I'm sorry, this is just painful.
some great content for that we're going to drop, okay? Now, first off, where is Russia?
I see why this channel didn't take off like his other one, though. It's much less interesting than him claiming he's taking on the entire policing system.
Well,
It's drier.
here is a 1562 map of America by Spanish cartographer Diego Gutierrez from the Library of Congress.
I'm not gonna be a bitch. I'm not gonna be a bitch. I'm not gonna be a bitch. It's fine that he said library. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
The 1562 Diego Gutierrez map shows Francisca, France, and the mythical golden city of Nuremberg, or Nuremberg, that was allegedly built by Vikings. This said map
I wish I had some blueberries right now.
also shows you Moscow, the capital of Russia. Russia, Rus, Rus Asian, right? Clan Rus, R-O-S, Rus, R-U-S, or Andros, Andrews, in North America. Well, so much for Nuremberg being a myth, because it had to be real for it to be on an authentic map from the
Cameron, people just put stuff on maps back in the day. You can find fucking sea monsters on certain maps. You can find California as an island. Like, when people didn't know something, they would just fill it in. Like, I don't know how to express this to you. Just because you saw it on an old map doesn't mean it's correct. I don't, like, is this not obvious when you look at a map and you're like, that's very wrong? Lynn Girl Stuff, thanks for continuing the gift sub you got from Nemesaur.
the Library of Congress. Yes, the original French were the Franks, Clan, Ross, Rus, Andrews, Andros, and they were French Mars, Blackamoors, Moors, aka Berber, Merovingians,
Merovingians. Watch The Matrix Reloaded. Merovingian. He's a character, probably named after the people you're talking about.
Okay. We can touch base on that at a later point, okay? Now, this also explains why you have a French quarters in Louisiana. And they
The reason, are you serious? Louisiana used to be territory of the French before the Louisiana Purchase. Do you not know that? Do you not know that's why? Seriously? Are you serious? You don't know that?
this also explains
It was owned by France. France owned it, and then they sold it to the US. French traders and like fur traders and all sorts of traders were at that port, and it was like run by the French. So it has very like French culture and stuff in the area. Fennikagami says, considering the fact that AI bros think everyone who isn't them are idiots, you would think that being able to talk doesn't make you intelligent. However, I blame the history of comparing humans to computers for some of this. It's never been accurate to describe the brain as a computer, but experts did it all the time. This lent leniency to red pillars thinking you can reprogram women to be how you want, and now you see the warning signs for where we were always there.
based on that at a later point, okay? Now, this also explains why you have a French quarters in Louisiana.
Again, no, that's because it was a colony.
And they also refer to themselves as Acadians. Okay, you can spell that A-C-A-D-I-A-N-S or A-K-K-A-D-I.
No one tell him New York used to be called New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way.
A-N-S. Acadians. Now, Russia was established by the mighty Andros, Rus clan from Scotland when they were Saracens, old Arabs, which explains all the black Russian icons in the Islamic State flag of Russia.
What?
Russian icons in the Islamic State flag of Russia.
What does he mean, Islamic State flag of Russia? Also, this isn't the flag of Russia. This is the flag of the Soviet Union. What? I don't understand.
Asian.
Oh my god, is it because he thinks it's a crescent moon? Does he not understand it's a hammer and sickle communist symbol and he thinks it's a fucking star and a moon like Turkey? Oh, fuck me.
With its cherry red background and Islamic crescent moon and
Oh my fucking god.
star. With Asian. With its cherry red background and Islamic crescent moon and star.
Cameron, the Soviet Union was not big on religion. I promise you, it has nothing to do with Islam. It's the symbol of like Soviet communism, because it's like a hammer and a sickle, industrial workers and farmers working together. It's supposed to be a symbol of like workers coming together. You don't have to agree with that, but like that's what it is. It's not a moon.
Grand Tartary was in North America.
Yeah, Hannah puts head on hands. Yeah.
Due to the sheer number of the world's fairs. Okay? The Americas was once so great that the powers that be
Overthought says, today I learned Mecca is in Siberia.
had to hold several world's fairs in North America just to explain away the evidence of a pre-advanced civilization and their tech.
Cameron, no, these were World's Fairs. These buildings were built, how do I put this? Not to last. They're pretty much facades that look a lot nicer than they actually are. They're made with, like, fucking stucco and stuff. And I'm not gonna say it doesn't look nice for a fair that's supposed to be there for a year or two. I would have liked to have gone to something like this if I was around at the time. But it's not ancient Tartarian architecture. It was put up quite recently when it was put up, and it was put up for the fair.
For example, the Americas had the Pan American World's Fair, the 1876 Continental International Exposition, the Panama, California Exposition.
Aren't there photos of the fair under construction? I believe there are, yes.
The Golden Gate International Exposition. The Tennessee Centennial Exposition. the Chicago's World's Fair.
You're just showing us... I've seen all these pictures in other Tartaria videos. Conspiracy theorist thinks evidence is self-evident on the bingo card. Again, it's cool to look at, but it's not nefarious, and it's not implying the things that you think it's implying, Cameron. It's a World's Fair.
The St. Louis World's Fair.
The Wig Tower. I understood that reference.
The Jamestown, Virginia Exposition.
Is he literally just gonna name these for the rest of the video?
Con Pacific, me,
There we go.
No place in the world had this many expositions, aka World's Fair, which leads me to believe that the Americas was not only India Superior, or Asia Major, but also the superior Grand Tartary, Egypt, Sumer, Babylon, Jerusalem, etc. And this was just also reinforced by what R.S. Clymer just said in his book, which was that America was the plateau of all of Tartary. So Tartary, or Tartaria, is one of the greatest civilizations that was ever suppressed by the powers that be, since this was an advanced Blackamoor civilization with free energy tech, modern tech.
Hey, fun fact, free energy isn't a thing.
And fabulous Gothic and Greco-Roman architecture. For an example of what I'm referring to,
Does he think that this architecture we're looking at is Greco-Roman right now? I just desperately want him to say that this is Greco-Roman.
and to get a glimpse of how Grand Tartary looked like, you can go into detail about the 1936 Texas Centennial
Doesn't understand architecture on the bingo card.
Exposition in Dallas, Texas. This proves that the Tartarians had free energy, beautiful Gothic and Greco-Roman architecture, and it
What about this looks Gothic?
proves that most of our technology comes from Grand Tartary, even the automobile itself. As King Solomon, or Sol-Amon, said in the Bible, it is nothing new under the sun, which is a true old proverb.
Wow, has King Solomon seen my iPhone? Probably not. Oh boy.
In a book by David McRitchie named Ancient and Modern Britons, on page 406, he says, their manner of levying a money tax upon the vanquished was precisely that of the Black Huns in Italy many centuries before, and it is unnecessary to emphasize the fact that they scalped their enemies like the modern Red Indians. The Tartar features of these Black Danes are visible again and again. The word Tartar being used as it was done when as black as Tartars.
I hate when they go to old books and then use old racial definitions and phrasing. I don't know how to express this to you, but people's ideas about race and how we describe race are pretty much arbitrary, and they've changed a lot over the centuries. So if you're going to go to a book that's like 100 years old and try to take it at face value for what they're saying, but with the definitions we have today for what we consider, you know, the racialized traits of different groups or whatever, it's not going to make any sense because their perception of race is very different. They grew up in a different world where they viewed these things differently. It's frustrating. It's like that guy who thinks the word swarthy means black, so he thinks Abraham Lincoln was black. Yeah. Fenekagami says, I'm constantly amazed that these people aren't into games like Dark Souls. Everything they like is in there, and it's all about golden eras ending in ruin. The difficulty of the games isn't even a barrier. There's an entire cottage industry of competing theories analyzing the meaning of the games. Chitara says, so this is a Hotep-style conspiracy theory that is piggybacking off the Tartaria conspiracy theory. I'm not really familiar with the Hotep thing. I don't know. I've heard the word, but I don't know the specific definition enough to like speak on that. But it's definitely Tartaria with some black nationalist stuff put in. Kind of like the Moorish citizenship stuff, but a little different.
Was a proverbial expression, end quote. Now that we know that the Danes were Tartars, do we have evidence to confirm this? Yes, we do. Here is an image of King Frederick II of Denmark and Norway.
Oh my god, he's gonna say he was black. He's gonna say the fucking King of Denmark was black.
And his daughter, Queen Anne of Denmark. Denmark was named after the Danes, who are the tribe of Dan, the original nobility of Europe.
Oh no! Oh no! The tribe of Dan, like from the Bible? Like the Israelite group? Oh no!
Even the original Celtic Black Vikings, Thornhall the Great, Thorvard, Thorfinn the Great, were Black Vikings in Norway, Sweden, Iceland, Denmark, etc. Now, I know you'll get confused about this because we've already seen, or as you'll see on the screen now, Caucasians is a term that has been misrepresented. But when the Caucasians came out of the Caucasus Mountain and traveled further up Europe, evidence mentions that they saw giant black people who were Askamani, or
giants on the bingo card.
Askanmani, which means Ashman, and Blumain, black people with a blue tone. Now, of course, in winter times when black people don't moisturize their skin, they go Askamani, which is gray in contrast.
Is this motherfucker about to say they thought they were white because they were ashy? I swear to God. Cameron, stop it. Fucking stop it. Fucking stop. Stop it. Get help. What the fuck?
Here you can see King Frederick II of Denmark.
Oh, no! Don't do it! Don't do it!
Of course, look how blue, black, or gray he is. Denmark and Norway is, of course, Viking country. You see, the truth is all in the artifacts, or art. Well, so much for the white Viking hijacked. His daughter...
Ultimate Undying says, black of face and limb. This is how a black man was described in Middle Romances. Sir Morian was actually a Spanish Moor. They go on forever about how black he was. Also, paint fades.
Queen Anne of Denmark married King James of the Bible. And of course, yes...
I know what he means by King James of the Bible, but it makes it sound like he was in the Bible as opposed to had a translation done.
King James was black as well.
No, he wasn't. I promise he wasn't.
How do you explain a black king ruling over a Viking territory?
He wasn't, and he didn't. That's how I would explain it, is that did not happen.
Keep in mind, this is recent, so this requires a lot of explaining for any white Europeans that claims that the Vikings and the Tartars, or Tartarians, were white. Now, of course, there are several images and people who have researched the original black nobility. Notice here, of the painting of King Frederick II, you will see Gothic architecture, castles, and cathedrals, which is a Tartarian or a Moorish mode of workmanship.
No, it's not! We know the origins of Gothic architecture. It's in the name. Gothic. The fucking Goth. This man's gonna be the enemy.
According to the master textbooks, quote, a dictionary of the architecture and archaeology of the Middle Ages, unquote. Yes, the Tartarians,
No, that's Hannah puts head in hands, not Hannah dies of laughter.
Moors, or Moors, built all the castles and cathedrals throughout the world, which became college universities, since Gothic building is a Moorish style of building.
Does he think that this is Gothic?
College universities.
This is like Islamic Golden Age type architecture. This isn't Gothic. It's like he looks at every old architecture and goes Gothic. Just because it's old and has arches does not mean it's Gothic.
Since Gothic building is a Moorish style.
Not Gothic. This is not Gothic.
Style of building. The cathedral is built.
If it's not using imagery of like humans or creatures, and it's mostly like designs and like geometric shapes, you can make a fair assumption that it's something from like Islam, because not allowed to depict people and creatures and stuff, so it's a lot of geometric artwork. It can be quite beautiful.
With a Gothic, Moorish, or Islamic type of building, and so is Westminster Abbey. Again,
Altered Undying says, also, this is what Sir Morian looked like in the text. Good job. Where did it go?
in a dictionary of the architecture and archaeology of the Middle Ages from John Britton, you'll notice that it says, quote, in Turner's Normandy, Volume 2.
This is the man who's gonna sue, allegedly.
Page 250, are delineated several sculptural spandrels from Bayeux Cathedral exhibiting somewhat of the Moorish or Tartarian mode of workmanship. The word is spelled spandre, in the French contract.
I wonder why he doesn't bring this stuff up more in his sovereign citizen stuff. Is he embarrassed about it? Like, I know he's referenced it vaguely, but like, does he think this would scare away some of his sovereign citizen people?
Reforming Westminster Hall, unquote, dated 1393. Now, this is a powerful quote coming from a master textbook written by a white author that is recognized. Well, it appears that the Moors built the castles and cathedrals throughout Europe. Now that we have a number of sources to confirm that the Tartars were blackamoors, we have the Gothic architecture, we have the written evidence from authors, and we have the actual paintings of Tartars from that time period. But what about all the advanced Tartarian tech?
What about all the advanced Tartarian tech that definitely existed?
Well, the so-called black people invented over 90% of the world's inventions.
This just feels like the shitty thing where, you know, like white people do this, where like some racist white guy will be like, oh, white people invented every good thing. It just feels like the inverse of that, where someone's like, no, Uno reverse card, that was me, motherfucker. Not helpful. Also not true. Neither of those things is true. Altered Undying says, my point being they depicted someone as black, they did not fuck around. Also, Spanish Moors were fucking awesome. Gitara says, Hoteps, Moorish citizens, and black Israelites have similar beliefs that black folk basically did everything that ever mattered, and all history is our history, specifically removing every other race from their histories. It's what you're seeing right now in this video. This is, in my opinion, as a black man myself, just as bad as white nationalists having a racist disbelief of the accomplishments of other races, though they'd call me an Uncle Tom and other slurs for believing that. It doesn't have the same institutional power that white supremacy has, So I would say it has less of a negative material impact, but morally it's not great.
So, the people with the most
Amber says Gothic architecture borrowed a lot from Muslim architecture. If you want to find influence of people of color on Europe, you don't have to make shit up.
inventions are descendants of the Tartarians.
Oh, so thanks, Cameron, for some more crazy bullshit. Alright, let's see what we're gonna do next. Like I said, Hans Wormhat's channel got deleted. It says this account has been terminated because it is linked to an account that received multiple third-party claims of copyright infringement. So, goodbye, Hans Wormhat. More Cameron videos? There are more, but I'm not gonna just focus on him during this. I don't feel the need to do that. We'll watch more of his stuff in the future. Alright. Let's see what else we got. Oh, how about someone saying what do you mean, boo? You wanted to sit here and listen to him talk boring for hours? No. Anyway, here's Eric Dubé talking about how he thinks gravity isn't real.
The so-called law of gravity is a monumental hoax and constitutes one of the biggest psyops in all of history. Assuming we actually live on the spinning globe Earth...
Hans was the guy who claimed normal geographic features were giant fossils or something, right? No. That's, Mud Fossil University. Hans is the guy who thinks animals aren't real. He doesn't think gorillas are real, etc. Baja texted me and said, but you sit and listen to Cameron for hours. I do, in my off time, so I can prepare for the show by getting through all the boring stuff, so I can just bring you the interesting bits. That doesn't mean I want other people to have to sit through it. Anyway.
Promoted by modern Freemasonic science, consider the following calculations and contradictions. The supposed law of gravity claims its mysterious action-at-a-distance force can be measured as G times M...
Can you explain why you find it mysterious in particular any more than something like electromagnetism or, like, the weaker strong nuclear force? Because, like, it's not that weird. It's not foreign. You experience it constantly. We are constantly experiencing gravity. So trying to describe it as mysterious, certainly the underlying mechanics of it and what causes it to function are a bit above the pay grade of most people. It doesn't mean that it's some magical thing that's impossible to understand. Like, it's described mathematically in a way that's predictive. That's what science is making predictive models. And they've done that incredibly effectively with gravity. That was done hundreds of years ago. So I just find it a little weird that they're constantly looking for some, like, God of the Gaps argument, but for flat Earth. And usually they go to gravity for that.
1 times M2 over R squared, with G being equivalent to 6.674 times 10 to the power of minus 11. Now, consider the One World Trade Center in New York, which has a mass of approximately 1,050,000,000 kilograms.
Can I just say something? This might be a hot take. And, like, 9/11 was not good. I want to point out 9/11 bad. Grimsbane, I'll look at your card in a sec. But I will say the One World Trade Center, aesthetically, way better than the original World Trade Center. Have you seen the original World Trade Center? Ugly buildings. Like, tragedy, but, like, it is an upgrade. Just gonna put that out there. Grimsbane, let's take a look at your card for the bingo. Hannah mentions Blu-rays, PSYOP. Did we have PSYOP? I'll have to look. I think we did. Free Space Giants, Predictive Programming. Let me double check we had PSYOP, and then you'll probably be the winner. We did not have PSYOP. So not yet.
That if you are an 80 kilogram...
Oh, you're right. He did say it. It was one of the first ones in the video. So you're right. You do win. You do win, Grimsbane. I'm sorry. Let me write your name down. I just didn't catch it. I can give it away. Cool beans. Let's see who gets the gift sub. So that's our official bingo winner of today. We're still going to play for fun, but that is our official winner. Want some hacks? Gets the random gift sub. Cool beans. We'll still play for fun.
Man standing.
Speaking of, since we're kind of on a pause right now anyway, I will say, if you want to help support the stream, you can always use the tip link. You can always gift subs. We're getting close to the sub goal for this month. You can always become a member on YouTube. We are doing the YouTube member and patron-only live show after this. We're going to get together and watch a movie together. So if you want to be a part of that, join the Patreon as a paid member or become a member on YouTube. All right. Let's continue.
10 meters away from the One World Trade Center, then there should be an expected horizontal gravity of 0.05606
Hats off. What do you want me to wear, NSE?
meters per second squared. Considering the standard rate of vertical gravity is 9.81 meters per second squared, this means the expected horizontal gravity from the One World Trade Center should be pulling at about 1/174th that of standard vertical gravity. This may not sound significant, but it must be measurable, and this point becomes extremely interesting when the same 80-kilogram man stands just 1 meter from the One World Trade Center. In this instance, the questionable law of gravity calculates that the horizontal gravity increases 100-fold to a whopping 5.606 meters
Is this another issue where they don't understand that you can have multiple vectors of force applied on an object at once, and the stronger one is going to have a much more obvious effect? Nemesaur, thank you so much for gifting 20 Tier 1 subs. You are just incredible.
Second squared, which is more than half of standard vertical gravity. This would absolutely be both measurable and noticeable. The gravitational attraction between an 80-kilogram man standing 1 meter from the World Trade Center should be easily felt and should require...
Oh, okay. He really does think this. If the World Trade Center was floating in space with nothing else around it and you were near it, sure, but it's being overpowered by the force of gravity from the Earth that's much stronger by like a factor of many times. So if it was floating in space, yes, because it's you know, it would be the only thing. But right now it's competing with the Earth, which is a lot stronger in terms of its pull.
Significant effort to resist being pulled into the wall like a magnet. Finally, if the same man were to be so unfortunate as to touch the Trade Center, the bogus law of gravity says that you will need to call the fire brigade to come and detach the man, because...
Bittergrin says if you were 1 meter from the center of a mass of the building and all the masses were in that 1 meter, then yes, you would get that much gravity. 1 meter from the edge of the building, you do not.
He will no longer be able to...
Wait, is he in this equation condensing the mass down to an incredibly dense thing?
free by his own...
You think his mass number's way off? I think something's off.
Strength.
I'm not a math person, though.
Consider the same 80
He's calculating as if the building is a point mass? Okay. So he is putting all of the mass in, like, a singular position. Okay.
Man, now on a vacation to Switzerland, where he goes to rock climb the famous north face of the Eiger Mountain. Here, the mystical law of gravity predicts that even if he loses his grip while climbing, there is no need to fear, because it's impossible for him to fall from the 10 billion ton mountain. Since the distance between himself and the mountain is almost zero, making r squared in the equation nearly negligible.
Okay, except there's still the Earth below him that's pulling much stronger.
The amount of horizontal gravity pulling at him should cause him to cling to the rock face like a magnet sticking to a refrigerator door.
Again, maybe if he was in space and the mountain was in space and there was nothing else around, but right now that gravitational force is competing with the gravitational forces pulling on him from the Earth, which are exponentially stronger.
Thus, according to the magical law of gravity, we are assured that rock climbing massive mountains like these is actually among the safest of pursuits imaginable, because falling is deemed physically impossible. Again, it cannot be overstated. The formula for gravity implicitly implies that as any two objects approach each other, the closer the R value drops to 0, the stronger the pulling force that exists between them.
Sure, but if both objects have a relatively small mass, just because the amount is going to increase due to their closeness doesn't mean it's going to be strong. If they're both relatively non-massive objects, that doesn't mean they're gonna, like, stick together to the point you can't pull them apart because you can apply other forces. I am begging them to understand there are other forces than the one vector they're describing.
Two objects physically touch each other, the gravitational force between them increases to a very large number, implying that they should become difficult to separate. In reality, however, only magnets behave this way, and no other objects show this supposed increased attraction proportional to distance, as predicted by gravity. Freemasonic science apologists attempting to refute the necessity of non-vertical gravity.
Ah, I see. Freemasons are to blame for him not understanding systems. Medicated person, thanks for 37 months and kicking off a hype train. If you want to help out get to higher levels on the hype train, which I would appreciate, you can use bits, subs, or gift subs.
Gravity will often assert the Star Trek argument of, gravity only comes from the center of the Earth, Captain. But this...
I don't think anyone would make that statement because it's not true. It's that there are multiple vectors in the system that you are describing, but you are only paying attention to one of the force vectors. You're ignoring the stronger one to make an incorrect point.
This is a nonsensical
93% to level 5 on the hype train.
Double standard, because the same broken law of gravity claims this calculable mutual attraction exists between all objects.
It does.
Even between two particles, and not solely from the center.
You can literally test this, by the way. There's experiments that you can get kits for. We used this in high school, but you can get it yourself, I think, on Amazon. I forget exactly what the test is, but they got the gravitational constant. Oh, real quick. NSE, thanks for 296 bits, getting us over level 5. Thank you very much. I forget what it's called, but they're the balls that are basically on a thing that lets them freely sort of like teeter, and that's how they developed the gravitational constant, was having these balls of known masses that were able to freely move, and then they eventually attract each other. And with the known masses that they had, and seeing how long it took for them to like pull towards each other due to gravity, we were able to derive the gravitational constant. This is still an experiment you can do today. You yourself could derive the gravitational constant if you so chose and knew how to do it. This is a thing you can buy on the internet today if you wanted to do this experiment. But flat earthers don't want to, because then they don't get to be in their special little club where they know better than everyone else.
Google AI clarifies, quote,
"Oh, you're using AI! Good!"
Gravitational attraction emanates from the entire mass of an object, not just from its center of mass. When dealing with objects far apart, or those with spherical symmetry, assuming all mass concentrates at a single point is done to simplify calculations. Gravity acts on all parts. While the center of mass is helpful for simplified calculations, every part of an object...
Yeah, I do want to watch more episodes of that Incredible Story Studio thing. Probably next week we'll do a VHS vault and, we'll do something like that.
Contributes to its...
Cavendish experiment. Thank you. That's what it's called, the Cavendish experiment. Let me pull something up real quick. Let me see how much it costs to buy one. Let's see. A Cavendish gravitational balance. Looks like it's about $900, which ain't nothing. But schools often have them. This one's 1,000, so it's not nothing, but they're certainly available for consumers if you want to test it yourself.
Its gravitational field.
And I don't know, flat earthers have gotten together before to spend $20,000 on a ring laser gyroscope, so you'd think they could throw $1,000 down on a Cavendish experiment kit.
And this distributed attraction has significant consequences in various situations. In other words, the pull of gravity comes from the entire mass of objects, not just from their center. So the excuse of claiming gravity only comes from the center of the Earth globe is an unevidenced...
I've literally never heard anyone say that. It's where the center of gravity is for it, but that doesn't mean that's the only place gravity is. I don't understand.
Peddling double standard. Another one of gravity's nonsensical double standards is that this same force is attributed to two very different effects. Gravity is said to cause all objects, people, buildings, oceans, and the entire atmosphere to stay clinging stuck to the spinning globe Earth. Meanwhile, gravity is also said to cause the moon to orbit around the Earth, the Earth and other planets to orbit around the sun, and the solar system to orbit around the galaxy.
He's gonna say, why don't they crash into each other? Because an orbit is when there's gravitational pull, but you're moving laterally so quickly that you never actually reach the object whose gravity you're being affected by. You're basically in free fall, in a stable free fall around the object. That's literally like the definition of an orbit, is that you're influenced by its gravity, but you're going so fast, or fast enough, that you miss it effectively as you're going towards it. And if you get in a stable orbit, you can do that in perpetuity. Bittergrin says, yes, the pull of gravity comes from all points, but the formula he's using calculated the pull based on distance to the center of gravity, which, as even he explained, is for simplicity's purposes. 30 seconds on the hype train.
This means that sometimes gravity causes objects to stick to one another, and other times gravity causes objects to orbit around one another. How can these two very different effects be attributed to the same force?
That's insane. That would be like me saying, what, electromagnetism can make these magnets stick together and it can power my phone? How can these very different effects be caused by the same force? What are you talking about? They're different interactions of the forces. Literally, orbiting is still an attractive force. It's just that you're going faster laterally that allows you to miss the Earth or whatever you're orbiting. Zytam says they do talk about it with a link. Let's see. How does gravity work underground? An in-depth explanation. Gravity is a force that pulls objects down, and it's commonly known to be approximately constant on the surface of the Earth. What would happen if you, however, dug a deep hole into the Earth? Would the gravity you experienced change as you went underground? And how would it change, with depth? In short, gravity certainly exists underground, but it decreases as you go deeper. In an idealized case, gravity would decrease linearly with depth. However, a more realistic description of gravity underground is given by the Prem model, according to which gravity is at its strongest at the boundary of the outer core. Isn't it always funny that conspiracy theorists will be like, scientists never talk about insert thing here, and then it's easy to find someone talking about insert thing here? It's like they don't even look.
Freemasonic science claims that if the initial speed and trajectory of the two objects is just right, then instead of crashing together, they can somehow perpetually orbit each other, due to the force of gravity being perfectly balanced out by the object's inertia, causing a continuous curve around the central object.
Yeah, you get it.
If this is true, why is there not a single experiment or demonstration in history that shows two objects meeting with such perfect inertia and trajectory as to lock themselves in perpetual orbit with one another? Why?
I think that does happen with, like, celestial bodies sometimes, as they'll end up in, like, orbit with each other. That is a thing. What is he talking about? That's absolutely a thing in terms of bodies in space. I forget the exact term for it, but it is a thing.
Why is this special effect of gravity conveniently limited only to objects so large we cannot experiment on them? Yet another contradiction.
It's not. It's just that on Earth, we have the competing force of the Earth's gravity at all times.
And double standard from the illogical law of gravity is the behavior of helium balloons.
So fun fact again, you can have multiple forces in a system. So if the buoyancy of the helium in the balloon within the atmosphere is stronger than the gravitational force pulling it down, the net result of that system is to go up. Right? I think that's pretty simple. I think we learned that in, like, middle school physics.
The formula for calculating the force of gravity depends solely on the masses of the two objects and the distance between them.
Right, for this you would need to calculate the buoyancy of the balloons and the helium within the atmosphere and compare that to the gravitational force. And what do you know? The buoyant force will be stronger. That's why it's going up.
This means any objects of non-zero mass will be subject to the pull of gravity proportional to their distance.
Oh, and see, this is called neutral buoyancy. When something is, like, perfectly buoyant balanced, where it's not, like, higher or lower, it can just kind of stick right in the atmosphere like that. Or if it was underwater and it was neutrally buoyant in the water, it would just stay wherever it was in the water without some other force touching it. This is buoyancy!
One another. Why then do helium balloons defy this fickle law of gravity by...
They don't defy it in the way that you are implying. They simply have a stronger force acting against it.
First rising and then clinging to your ceiling for several days before slowly starting to hover lower, and then after many more hours or days eventually settle to the ground.
Because again, buoyant force, the helium leaks out over time, making it less buoyant.
Releasing the helium balloon from 10 meters off the ground, or 1 centimeter off the ground, makes absolutely no difference to the balloon's immediate defiance of gravity. The same applies for a basketball thrown into a lake. The broken law of...
That's also the buoyant force. What the fuck?
Gravity calculates that the basketball must sink and remain stuck at the bottom of the lake, because the force of gravity depends solely on the masses of the two objects and the distance between them.
Gravity isn't the only force in the world. Gravity isn't the only force in the world.
But the basketball defies this law by immediately rising to the surface right after it's thrown in.
Yeah, buoyancy.
How is it that helium balloons and basketballs
Buoyancy.
Can become veritable anti-gravity devices?
Buoyancy.
It's because the effects of so-called gravity were actually well understood and adequately explained by Archimedes over...
Yeah, he's gonna use buoyancy incorrectly here. We all know this, or at least many of you do, because I've covered this before. Conspiracy theorists that are flat earthers that don't believe in gravity often will say, it's not gravity, it's the buoyant force. Literally, you need gravity in the formula for buoyant force. The gravitational constant is in the formula. It's G. It's needed to calculate it because they're systems that interact on Earth.
Over 2,000 years ago. The Archimedes principle, buoyant force, and relative density already explained the effects of fake...
They don't, though, because why would things have a vector that goes in a specific direction if it's just buoyancy? In the actual buoyancy formula, gravity gives you that. It gives you the directional vector, but without that, there isn't one. So why would the object go one direction over another? Bittergrin says the water is a third object in the system being pulled down more than the basketball.
Gravity, better, and long before Freemason and Jesuit Isaac Newton came along with his inferior and redundant theory.
Leave Isaac Newton alone. He was just a weirdo. He was just a sexless weirdo.
Under the valid laws of density and buoyancy, everything seeks its relative density with the medium surrounding, and rises or falls accordingly. The true constant is density, not gravity. Basketballs fall down because they are denser than air. and helium balloons rise up because they are lighter than air. A basketball held underwater and released quickly rises to the surface because the air inside the basketball causes it to have a density less than water. Then,
but without gravity, why is it going up? Why up?
A hole is poked in the basketball and all the air squeezed out, it will once again sink to the bottom of the lake because its relative density.
Why? If there's no gravity and it's only buoyancy, why down? Why would it go down? Jitara says, I had to step away for a moment, but if he mentions bugs and birds' ability to fly or our ability to stand upright while being subjected to Earth's gravity, my answer is, organisms on Earth have had billions of years to adapt to Earth's gravity, which as far as we know has been constant for all of that time. Every single organism's evolutionary development has accounted for Earth's gravity.
Has increased to being more than water. Newton's redundant theory of gravity
It's not
has
redundant.
nothing to do with this.
It's not redundant. You just don't understand systems with more than one vector.
Simply piggybacks off Archimedes' principle and the natural physics of density and buoyancy. If Newton's apple had landed...
Sorry, H-Baird. H-Baird says at least he isn't doing anything like this. Oh no, the balloon boy!
Whoa!
Oh my god. Okay. Are you ready? Taylor! Get up! Taylor now! Spider-Man!
Balloon boy was fun. I miss when that was the highest level of scamming going on.
...landed in a puddle instead of on his head, he would have seen the apple only fell through the air because it was denser than the air. But then...
Okay, except that's not what happened, because then why would it go down and not up? What is causing the vector in this thing? Why would buoyancy care for a direction? Why?
Floated on top of the water because it was less dense than water. These so-called effects of gravity have everything to do with relative density and buoyant force, and nothing to do with Newton's extraneous theory of magical action at a distance. In reality, this pulling force called gravity has never been proven to exist, and the only reason it is referred to as law is because the majority of Freemasonic science depends upon it.
No, I think it's more the fact that there's like a firm equation that exactly predicts how it functions. Probably more that.
Without this myth of gravity, a whole host of other lies and misconceptions are exposed as nothing but untenable theories, including the supposed spinning globe you're told you live on.
We're doomed. Oh no! Do you guys remember that AI video that's like the flat earth thing that's terrible? It's time for part 2! Sorry.
Hey, welcome back to part 2. All likenesses are fictional characters for this project only, so don't get your panties in a twist if you think it's you. Let's begin where we left off.
Who is this Eric Dubé? Who is Mark Sargent?
The Earth isn't flat. What are these idiots talking about? It's 2015. Goodness me, everyone knows it's a globe. Stupid.
8 inches per mile squared? That's not the curvature rate, you moron. Of course the Earth spins. Are you mad? Winding me up, mate.
Right, that's it. Dear Professor, what is the curvature rate of Earth?
Because some moron called Sergeant something says it's 8 inches per mile squared, and it's clearly not. Kind regards.
The Earth curvature rate is 8 inches per mile squared.
Except it's not. That only works for very short distances. I think you need calculus to do it on a larger scale, or maybe it was trigonometry. I don't remember.
But I can see further than that. What's going on? This cannot be happening.
Do you know that Sergeant bloke? He was right about the Earth curve.
He's not. Like, do you see what I mean? This is like what fucks me up about AI stuff, is literally it's just people producing propaganda. Like, it's people producing videos that say, I was right. Look, I made the AI say I was right, so I'm right. Like, it's pathetic. This is allowing people to literally create, like, fantasy Wojak scenarios, but with, like, photorealistic looking people. It's like reality is just becoming a fucking Wojak comic, and I want to die.
Okay, Poppet, let's go pay for the food.
And that's what happened. People started to wake up to the flat Earth. Wonderful. Not without a whole new set of problems, though.
Girls, I think your father is losing his mind. I'm worried about him. He thinks the Earth is flat.
Oh my God. The Earth really is flat. Space is actually fake. Wow. What's happening to me?
Looks like he's regenerating.
Space is actually fake. Wow. What's happening to me?
The Earth is flat. It really is flat. They are lying to us all. This is big. I need to call that sergeant guy.
That's funny, because, like, yeah, if your partner did that, that would be deranged, wouldn't it? Like, that's not even just a weird belief. He's, like, manic about it. She's, like, shielding the daughter. This is a real good own, flat earthers. You're crazy people and your wives left you. Wow, I'm so owned.
Thanks for that, caller. Yes, the Earth is flat. Remember, though, the first rule of Flat Club is we don't talk about Flat Club.
This is supposed to be Mark Sargent? That's not what Mark Sargent looks like.
The Earth is flat. It's not a globe. I've seen the maps. It makes sense.
Everyone's starting to realize the truth. This divine truth quickly spread everywhere. They even had conferences about it. Songs, music, everything was flat Earth.
My name is Robbie. Welcome to the first Flat Earth Conference. God's Flat Earth. Which I will, of course, denounce 8 years later.
Yeah, that's funny, actually. The guy that did run, or was in charge of one of the first Flat Earth conferences, is no longer a Flat Earther after the final experiment. So that's pretty fun.
Hi, I'm Patricia. Yes, the Earth is flat, and you know what? God.
Transphobia on the bingo card / transvestigation. Patricia Steer was Mark Sargent's co-host on Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, which was the name of their show. And she got transvestigated and she left the community because they were doing shit like this to her. Real nice, guys. Altered Undying says, quote, hell is real, space is fake, literally from a mage game. Bittergrin says, I love how the AI they paid money for can't even keep the characters looking the same from scene to scene. Definitely worth the money they're spending, guys.
God told me so. And of course, I will denounce God's creation when I get exposed in a crypto scam in 8 years' time. Look at
I also want to point out that, not that it should matter either way, but Patricia Steer is like a cis woman that's like feminine. In no way does she give any trans vibe, whatever that even fucking means. You know what I mean.
At Flat Earth UK conference, can you believe we're finally here? I know, Birmingham 2000.
Was that plane a VTOL? Did it just fucking land vertically?
Flat Earth UK
Look
conference, can you believe we're finally
Yeah, this is how planes land, right? How much footage of planes landing has AI stolen and it can't figure out a plane landing?
Look at that! Flat Earth UK conference, can you believe we're finally here? I know, Birmingham 2018, it's going to be amazing.
Welcome everyone, I'm Martin. The Earth has many layers and is flat.
Oh, creepy.
But in 5 years' time, I'll lose my mind, form a cult, wear robes and a purple turban, and declare myself king of some wasteland in Portugal. Brilliant.
Okay, apparently I need to look that one up. That sounds funny.
We are losing souls to this flat Earth. I will not tolerate this.
Is she not conventionally attractive? I think she's conventionally attractive, more or less. I haven't really thought about it, but she's not ugly. Again, whatever the fuck that means.
Call our people at the CIA, FBI, YouTube, and Google. We need to stop this spreading.
I need all Flat Earth content removed or pushed way down the search results.
Why are we doing this?
It's orders from the very top.
Flat Earth is under attack. Let me make it much worse by introducing our mystery guest. Please welcome Logan to the stage.
Hi, I'm not really a Flat Earther. I'm here to troll it for my channel. You think this is bad?
Yeah, that's when they invited Logan Paul to the Flat Earth thing, and he was just making fun of him.
My little fat brother is going to pretend to be a heavyweight boxer in 5 years' time.
Whoever made this, are they just getting out all their anger at other Flat Earthers for petty infighting drama? I kind of love that.
Hi, I'm Flat Earth Dave. The Earth is flat, and I have an app. It's amazing. It's only 3 shekels per download. Make sure you get.
That's not even close to what Flat Earth Dave looks like. Are you kidding me?
Flat Earth Dave. The Earth is flat, and I have an app. It's amazing. It's only 3 shekels per download. Make sure you
Thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card for the shekels thing.
get it.
Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to the 2019 Flat Earth Conference here in the UK. Please welcome our special guest, Mr. Sargent, all the way from the USA.
Yo, I'm Jason, not a Freemason. Been to Europe in my van like a man because I can, spreading the Flat Earth message far and wide for Globe Light Tour.
Great conference, Robin. Let's go to the rubber dub for a couple of Britneys.
Great idea, mate. Let's go.
I'll see you a lot in the pub. See you there, Dave.
Oh, what? What is he riding?
I'll see you a lot in the pub.
There's no handle,
there,
but
Dave.
he's like got his hands like there's a handle. I fucking hate AI. Holy shit.
Hi, Paul on the plane. How are you? Earth is flat, and I'm a Christian. I will also denounce God's creation when I too am exposed in a crypto scam in 5 years' time.
Scientists confirm the world is flat.
Celebrities endorse Flat Earth movement.
Welcome to Flat Earth Today.
What shall we do to stop Flat Earth?
Release the COVID.
Did you know that COVID was just a psyop to get you to not think about Flat Earth? Did it work?
Release the COVID.
All right, then.
And it was so. Satan and his army of controllers cast a spell over humanity, the likes of which no one had seen before.
This is a public health announcement. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives, get vaccinated as soon as it's available.
UK lockdown imminent.
Hospitals overwhelmed.
Get vaccinated, protect yourself, protect others.
Chitara says, wait a sec, is this person, like, against organized flat eartherism? He's attacking the conferences and respected figures in their community. He's attacking people that he seems to have personal beef with and people he thinks are bad for the community.
What an absolute, complete and utter load of bullshit this whole COVID spell is. Thank goodness Flat Earthers see this clearly for what it is.
Thank goodness some of the most insane conspiracy theorists on the internet are gotten down to the truth of things. Doesn't CC also think literally everything is designed to distract you from Flat Earth? He does think that.
Be quiet, you mental people. Stay away from us.
COVID lies destroy lives. No more lockdowns. The science was wrong.
They lied to us. COVID is fake.
No more lockdowns. The science was wrong. My business died.
Fuck your business.
Freedom now.
I've had enough of this country, love. We need a holiday. I'll call Dave, see what he's doing.
Cup of tea?
Ooh, lovely jubbly.
Lovely jubbly.
Hey, Flat Earth Dave. They have closed the airports and there's nowhere to go unless you wear a mask.
Wow, that doesn't even look like the Flat Earth Dave they showed earlier.
Apart from Mexico, fancy it?
I'll see you there, never wearing a mask, man.
Get back in love. We are off to Mexico. No jab, no mask. Woohoo! And we are going to start Flat Earth Social.
Unironically, if this is how you see yourself, please seek help. Please seek help. Please seek help. Delusions of grandeur. Absolute fucking insanity. Again, that's a little better. It's better than the last one. I still don't think it can land a plane very convincingly.
Nope, no thank you. Nope, not at all. Ian, Lisa, you made it.
Dave, Paige, so good to see you.
You both look amazing.
Wow, welcome to paradise.
Oh. This is offensive.
How you going, you dumb mother's whores? It's me, Santos the name, Bonacci the game.
Yeah, mate, the whole Bible is in the movement of the stars and constellations. All about syncretism, my friend. It's mental, and the Earth is flat, has no curvature.
Do I think conspiracy theories has heavy reliance on narcissism? I think reliance is the wrong word. I think that narcissistic tendencies tend to lend themselves to a mentality that leads you to believe in conspiracy theories. It tends to be a quite self-centered worldview where you think everything ultimately comes down to either you personally or the things you believe, which gives you a sense of importance. So it is a very self-centered worldview, generally.
Thank you for doing the podcast, mate. You won't see me soon because I'm going to live in the mountains forever.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, mate. Take care.
Same time, same place next year.
Let's get back to fighting Globe Earth, and I'll see you at Flat Earth Social.
Welcome to Flat Earth Social, a place where like-minded come together. Here you can meet others on the same level. Please welcome, allegedly, Dave. Please welcome conspiracy music guru. Please welcome Flat Earth Dave. Please welcome Mr. Leadker, Flat Earth British. Please welcome Mr. Sargent.
Flat Earth Social was doing fabulously, bringing flat earthers together from all across the UK to a hotel in Ferndown, Dorset on the last Tuesday of every month.
Across the pond was no different. Flat Earth was rising, and all the people that woke up through the COVID scam wanted to know more.
And that's exactly what this app shows. It shows you the sun, moon, and the stars and where they are over the flat Earth.
That's supposed to be Flat Earth Dave's app that uses globe Earth math, so that's fun. Just a Peach with a $2 super chat says they're made to look at least 10 years younger and in much better shape.
This app is
like, this would be like if they made an AI of me, but I looked like Megan Fox. Like, that's the equivalent of what they're doing here.
The best thing that truthers and flat earthers have ever had. All the best uncensored truth can be found in one place.
Oh, I hate Mule. Garfield hates Mule.
So some guy called me, his name was Duffy the Muffy, and he asked if I wanted to go to Antarctica to prove flat Earth. What's the point? The Earth is measured flat. We've all been invited to a UK festival to talk about
Is that going to be their only mention of the final experiment? That's so funny if that's the case. The only mention is a character saying, "Why would I go to Antarctica?"
flat Earth. This should be epic. It's all about perspective and measurement, and that's why the Earth is flat.
We love you, Flat Earth Dave.
Wow, AI really can't do a crowd clapping, can it? They kind of do it simultaneously.
Well done, Dave. Your talk was great. Let's celebrate with that magic chocolate you have. I'm sure they will be fine. What could go wrong?
Mate, do you see the lights? Yeah, they're dancing. Did you feel that? The air just got weird. Yeah, and look, what's that coming through the mist?
It's the Hat Man! Was that the fucking Hat Man?
Yeah, and look, what's that coming through the mist?
Yeah, it's the Hat Man! Oh, good times. Dillis Filler says, wow, they finally did it. Fire Festival 3. Don't abuse deliriance, kids. Not fun.
It's only Martin. I dress for festival.
Wait, why is he the fourth Doctor?
I do. Loves it, boyo.
It looked like a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far.
I
Soon
haven't.
the Flat Earth was going to have some unexpected changes.
You are in violation of so many SEC charges, you should be in prison. You've been chosen to do a job for our boss. You have to stop the Flat Earth app.
But how can I stop the app? I'm just a regular scumbag. I don't know about the Flat Earth. I do money fraud.
Who is this supposed to be? Obviously, they're trying to make him look ugly or something. I don't know what they're doing, but they clearly don't like the guy.
We have a team and sleeper
Who's it supposed to be?
agents in place, and you'll need to wrap up warm, and you're going to a military base in Antarctica.
So, Dave, I called before and asked, and now I'm insisting you come to Antarctica to prove the Flat Earth. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, it's supposed to be Will Duffy from The Final Experiment?
Even are you, little demon man? Go away. The Earth is measured flat.
Welcome, team. You are here because of the Axion debacle. If you want to stay out of jail, you will do as you are told.
We couldn't get Dave, so we got the Campanella fella. He'll do anything for money.
What is the plan, my lord Satan?
Why is Satan in the middle of the table?
Anything for money.
Look, he's just like in the middle of the table. What the fuck?
What?
Ultra Undying says, can we ban anyone who doesn't think space is real from dressing anything like a doctor? And Stephen J. Neptune Man says, this feels like a whole lot of work to keep people from finding out the Earth is flat, isn't it? You'd think.
What is the plan, my lord Satan?
Once the Campanella fella touches down, we'll start mocking flat earthers, show some pics of the fake sun, and our sleeper agents will declare the world is a globe, and we can stop the spread of this divine abomination.
We're overusing the flame eyes. He already used it with the release the COVID thing, and that's the best line of the whole piece, so let it go.
Yo, it's MC Toon. I'm a bit of a loon. Screaming jiggery pokery down.
That's not what MC Toon looks like. Again, they're intentionally trying to make flat earthers look like better than they look in real life, and round earth people to look worse. Again, it's the Wojak. They're Wojacking. It's pathetic. Stone Corbell says, this is so infantile. Hey, Lie Machine, make my enemies fat and ugly and make me buff and hot. You gonna ask it to suck you off next, right? Right?
Down to phone to
Who just wants to manufacture a false reality like this? It sucks.
Pokerly.
It's not real.
Yep, that's a 24-hour sun. I used to be nice, but now I'm on ice. I sold my soul, so gotta go and get my dough.
I'm Patty Steer. My job is clear. Earth is now a globe. I agree with the Campanella fella. Of course I now don't believe in God. I have a new master.
Yo, I'm Robbie D, tall as a tree. God used to be for me, but now I'm not free. The Earth is now a globe. I agree with the Campanella fella. I now serve Satan. I used to be Paul on the plane. Now I'm just a pain. Lost a lot in crypto, but now I have to tiptoe. Agree with Campanella fella. The Earth is now a globe. Anyone want to buy some fuel additives? I'm the Campanella.
Good to know AI has no flow.
Fella, I can take the licks if I send my dicky pics to the chicks. I've done my job. I'm an absolute knob. I know it's not funny, but show me the money.
How could he do this to us?
I can't believe it. He was one of our most trusted voices.
This changes everything.
To be fair, it didn't change anything. Flat Earth is now bigger than ever. The bad guys don't win. Flat Earthers have God on their side. Good night. God bless.
I kind of wish there was a god, just so they could be embarrassed by this.
Hey, everybody. This is the real Flat Earth Dave. I hope.
Yeah, this is what actual Flat Earth Dave looks like, for reference to the buff, chiseled dude they showed before. The AI version of him also looked to be in his 30s instead of his 50s. Like I said, it's like they depicted me as Megan Fox. It's fucking crazy.
If you enjoyed that film put out by Flat Earth Social, the elite are doing everything possible to censor the truth and hide the truth of our realm from you.
Oh, you needed an editor for that. You used truth way too close together. That sounded awkward. Jitara says, oh my Paul, he looks nothing like the AI version. I'd love a side-by-side. Let me see, where was the one that's supposed to be him? Okay, so this is real Dave, and this is his AI version. This is AI Dave. Real Dave.
Truth of our realm from you.
Do flat earthers believe in the Epstein files? I don't know. It would depend on the individual. It's a big group.
Check out my Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You can find it at flatearthdave.com. Educate yourself, educate the world. The truth is the key to our freedom.
Thanks, Dave. You're great. Okay, let's see what's next. Oh! Sky Prince Medbeds, aka Carrie Ann Thornton, posts a video in all caps that says, "It's not a scam!" She's Medbed lady. By the way, I only work one day this upcoming week, so this upcoming week I'm going to be taking some days and literally just working on the Medbed video, because it's already taken way longer than I was intending to come out, and I want to get that out before my surgery, so yeah, I'll be spending some days this upcoming week working on that.
How do I say this? Stop thinking everything's a scam. Yeah, I know, my hair. I've been sitting by a fire and I feel like I've been electrocuted. Stop thinking everything's a scam, guys. Every time I post something that has a link or something like that, people just jump up and down. It's a scam, it's a scam. Seriously. Like, think. Read the post. I literally posted, if you want to receive email notification to sign up for the redemption appointment notification, here's the link for you to sign up to receive.
Is she doing this at a music festival? Where is that music coming from?
By your email, the redemption appointment notification. And people are jumping up and down. It's a scam. Medbeds are free. Read the post. Read it. It clearly says redemption appointment. It doesn't say medbed appointment. Seriously. Like, every time I post something that's not directly Medbeds related, or here's a link, sign up here, people jump up and down and scream scam. It's like,
it's almost like you've been promising something to people who are already desperate and sick for a very long time, and they're kind of tired of it.
Even reading it. It's absolutely insane, and all it does, it shows people do not read, do not listen. They don't think. And it really is frustrating, because then my admins and I have to go and correct them. Say, well, did you read it? I go, oh no, sorry. Seriously, if you don't bother reading something and listening, and you jump up and down saying scam, then don't be surprised if you get pushback.
Can I put in a complaint to Zmoo?
If there's a, people are correcting you. Like, seriously, guys. Like, come on. Actually listen, look. Use some thinking power. Anyway, here are...
If they were using their brains appropriately, they never would have subscribed to your channel, Carrie.
Other girls.
For those that don't know, I assume you all do, Carrie is like a Medbed scammer. She's been telling her audience for years that, like, sci-fi technology medbeds from aliens are coming any day, and they're going to be free, and they're going to make you live forever and cure all your illness and take away all your pain. It's sick. It's a sick lie.
Big girl. Hello, darling. Ah, peekaboo. This mark on her nose is where the halter on the truck cut into her. She fell over in the truck. Ooh. And yeah, she was really bad. Anyway, here's her body. She looks a bit wrangly. She's molting. You still see some ribs, but I'm just thinking she might actually be...
Is that a normal horse thing? Is this horse okay?
In foal again. Because
she said molting. Are they just growing a new coat of fur? Are they okay? Is that not okay? I don't know, horse things.
Look at that stomach. I'm hoping it's just her stomach muscles have collapsed.
Would that not be bad?
Through being so poor and having so many babies, but that's her hips. Can hardly see her bones anymore. And there is a little one. But look at that. Look at that condition now. There's a little one. But this horse was half dead a month ago. Bones sticking out everywhere. She was absolutely terrible. And look at that little fat porker. The porker. So, yeah, she is absolutely amazing. But I don't know. I have a feeling she might be in foal. Yeah, look at that stomach. Like, look at that. I just got a feeling she's in foal again.
Does that mean pregnant?
Because that belly... Hey, princess? I don't know about you guys who know about horses, but to me that looks like a pregnant belly. Peekaboo! Peekaboo! Hey. Little princess. She's very cute. Very, very cute. Hey. Hello. Hello, darling. Oh, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. But yeah, I think good old mama here might actually...
Her back is so like...
being carrying another baby. Oop, hey. Buttercup. She's getting fatter like that every day. I mean, look.
Well, now I'm just sad about this horse. Let's find something less sad. Jesus. Not that. We watched that.
I'm not sad that Hulk Hogan passed away. Yep, I said that. And I'm also not sad that Ozzy Osbourne passed away.
Okay, I don't care what you feel about things. That's fine.
Yep, I said that too. Can you...
Okay, you don't have to personally care. A lot of people do, but you don't have to as long as you're not a dick to people who do.
Handle that? Am I allowed to say that without hurting a bunch of people's feelings?
Wow, he really wants to be the like, you're all emotional bitches. I'm speaking truth to power that I don't give a shit that Hulk Hogan died. No one cares, man. No one cares. Give it up. What is this, 2013? You're trying to do a Ben Shapiro thing?
Is it okay for me to not be sad when a celebrity scripted dies?
Dead celebrity is secretly alive on the bingo card?
Yeah, I said that. I said the word scripted, and then dead.
Yeah, I said it. I'm a badass. I said an objectively crazy thing. What, you woke pussies can't handle my abject insanity? You can't handle that I've ruined my life by destroying my brain through the internet? You fucking pussies? Just a Peach, thanks for a $2 super chat, says that horse looks like the rescue that my parents had. I hope the horse is getting better, not worse. Looked rough, though.
Now, I know people out there think every celebrity just naturally lives out their life, and when the TV says that that celebrity is dead, you're supposed to be sad and then go on your Facebook and your X account and say, oh, rest in peace, Ozzy. We're gonna miss you forever. I'm crying.
Yeah, human beings enjoy art. So when the person who created the art they enjoyed dies, they're sad. That's a very human response. Now, if you don't have that sort of parasocial, let's call it a relationship, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that either. But I do think there's something incredibly cynical and, like, anti-human in not at least understanding where people are coming from when they're profoundly sad a performer or artist died. Like, for instance, Robin Williams. When Robin Williams died a little over a decade ago now, I cried. Not because I knew the guy, but because his work that he had done, the stuff he had put out in the world, his life's work, had touched me in some way. It had made me laugh, you know? Things that affect you emotionally connect with you, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of being a human being. And being a cold person that mocks people for having human emotion is just not good. It says some profoundly sad things about you and how you feel about your own emotions, I think, and is probably something that you should deal with before it builds up and harms you or other people. Overthought with 100 bits says, I hate this attitude that caring about anything is a flaw of some kind. Yeah, I'm gonna blame South Park for that one. At least to some extent.
Over Ozzy! Rest in peace! R.I.P. Ozzy! And then, a few days later, Hulk Hogan, he dies. So then you gotta repeat the whole process again. Wow, what are the odds? A rock legend dies, and then a couple days later, a wrestling legend dies. Good.
Pretty high. They're part of the, I think they're part of the baby boomer generation. So they make up a lot of the population as a whole and a large percentage of celebrities, and they're getting to an age where they're gonna start dying. So yeah, celebrity deaths are common already, and I can't imagine they're gonna get less common.
Thing they didn't die on the same day and make us pick and choose which one we're more sad about, and then it overshadows the other dead legend, right? Good thing they died on separate days. Now, in my world, it was scripted that they die on separate days, real close to each other. But in the common sheeple's mind,
sheeple on the bingo card. You're a sheeple for believing the almost 80-year-old man who did drugs like you wouldn't believe died.
They just...
Phoenix Flight with 200 bits says, this is giving the sin of empathy, thinking, meeting, conspiracy vibes, yeah. The people saying empathy is bad, it's not even just a red flag, just evil, awful people.
Conveniently died on days that were really close to each other. Oh, and get this. Malcolm Jamal Warner, who played Theo from The Cosby Show, he died. So you get 3 scripted deaths.
That one was incredibly sad. He was in his 50s and he was swimming and he got pulled out by a riptide. The ocean scares the shit out of me.
You guys, Hulk Hogan, on the world stage, he paid his dues as far as humiliation rituals go. More so than damn near any Hollywood celebrity. Like, if you go back and look the way that they smeared Hulk, and Hulk still would get into character and show up to a Trump rally and be like, what you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania and Trumpamania team up and run wild on you, brother? I'm starting a new beer company, brother. It's gonna be called Hulkamania's American Beer. I want you to get drunk along with me, brother. Like, he stayed in character all the way to the end, man.
You're surprised a professional wrestler stayed in kayfabe? Okay.
Now, I gotta say, just before his scripted death, it seemed like they may have even swapped Hulkster out with some other replacement imposter Hulkster. Now, I can't say that that happened for sure, but the final version of Hulkster for the last several months before he died was looking really weird. Almost like it was an imposter Hulkster.
Or almost like he was close to his death because he was unhealthy.
Maybe an AI Hulkster. You guys, one of the reasons why I'm not sad that these celebrities die on the world stage is A, I can go back and watch their best stuff anytime I want. When I was a kid, I was a fan of Hulk Hogan. But right now, I'm like a 42-year-old man. I'm going to be 42 next week. And, yeah, I just can't get sad about an old wrestler who's a club member, right? Hulk.
No one's asking you personally to get sad about any particular celebrity death. It's fine. No one's asking you to have any opinion on this. It's so weird that he's acting like other people are pressuring him to have some feeling. You don't have to, man.
Hogan is
like, there are celebrities that die all the time that I've never heard of or don't have any particular memories of enjoying their stuff. So, like, I'm sad on a human level that, like, oh, that's sad that someone that people like died, but, like, I'm not particularly emotionally affected on a deep level. That's fine. I just don't feel the need to go online and, like, talk about it. I don't feel the need to go online and be like, I don't care about this thing everyone cares about. Why? What a waste of time.
In the big club. There's a big club.
Tom Lehrer died? Did he really? That's sad. Funny guy.
And you and I are not in the big club. Hulk Hogan is in the big club. So if they let you go...
I'm just going to put this out there. If the secret club includes Hulk Hogan, the standards aren't even that high.
On stage and deliver a speech promoting Trump in character as Hulk Hogan while people cheer. Right after they finished dragging your name through the mud in a humiliation ritual. You are most definitely in the big club. So Hulk Hogan was high up the chain as far as recognizable characters on the world stage. And they even used his likeness to pitch a new brand of beer. Just before he died, the WWE was still using his image and likeness to show up to their premium live events.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most popular and recognizable wrestlers of all time. It's like Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and John Cena. Those are like the top three that everyone, even non-wrestling fans, know. Maybe The Undertaker's in there.
And try and hype...
Rowdy Roddy Piper as a honorable mention.
Up the crowd. And in his final appearance in a WWE ring, while he was trying to hype up the crowd, he was getting mostly boos from the crowd. So perhaps the scriptwriters felt it was the perfect time to get rid of this Hulkamania character on the world stage and get people to be sad for him. Right after they were sad for Malcolm Jamal Warner and Ozzy, right? So they get people to be scripted sad for 3 days in a row. It's almost like it's a soul harvest, a soul suck for the sheeple who believe that these actors and celebrities on the world stage actually died for real. I'm so filled with sadness. Rest in peace, Theo. You got a virtue signal to the world when you're a sheep that you're deeply saddened by these...
Again, it's not a virtue signal. People genuinely feel sad. Is he incapable of understanding other people have feelings he doesn't have?
Celebrities' deaths. You're not allowed to say that you're not sad. So that's why...
Because it's kind of a dick thing to say. Like, you don't have to be sad, but to go out of your way to be like, I don't feel anything about these deaths. It's whatever. Even if you're going to criticize the person, like Hulk Hogan, that's fine. It's fine to be like, Hulk Hogan was a pretty shitty person, so I don't care. But, like, to just, like, outright be like, why aren't I allowed to say I don't care about anyone's death? You're allowed. People just think you're an asshole. That's it. It's that simple.
I'm making this video to say that I'm not sad. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. In my opinion, these guys probably aren't even really dead.
Yeah, you can have your stupid ass wrong opinion. You're allowed.
So why should I be sad? Not only do I think that they're not really dead, The current version of them isn't really that entertaining. I can go back and watch the old version of Hulk Hogan. I can go back and watch Ozzy in his prime. I can go back and watch old episodes of The Cosby Show if I want to.
That might be difficult given the context now, but sure.
So it's not...
Is this Hans? No, Hans's channel got removed, which I'm very sad about.
Not like I need Malcolm Jamal Warner today in 2025. Ozzy's singing and performing ability had eroded away to the point where he was just sitting there mumbling, and then they had auto-tune and some backing tracks singing for him, right? So if I want to watch Ozzy at his best, I'll just go back and watch old videos of Ozzy. And guess what?
Great.
I have went back and looked for Ozzy's best live performances because I appreciate a good rock and roll performance. And what I like to do is go back and watch live shows and look for the best moment of a musician's career when they were in their prime and at their best. And what I can tell you is I had trouble finding any live show where Ozzy was killing it. Even...
Is he seriously about to be like, hot take, one of the most famous rock musicians of all time, actually, if you considered I think he sucks ass? This is like saying you think the Beatles suck. Like, it's okay to not like the Beatles, but to say they suck is just like, are you serious? Come on.
Ozzy in his prime, his singing ability was not that great. And I would argue that the technology and the effects put on his voice was there to mask the fact that he really wasn't that great of a singer. There's plenty of other rock and roll singers who could hit high notes and sing.
It's not all about just technical proficiency. It's about being a performer, and especially the kind of music that Ozzy was doing is very much about the totality of the performance, not just the technical ability of the voice, but the vibe you put off, how you perform it, what you look like, what you sound like. Like, these are all things that go into it. It's not just about the actual technical proficiency, if he can, you know, do things as well as, like, a computer could do in theory. It's about the totality of the performance, man. And how can you say that Ozzy fucking Osbourne couldn't perform?
Way better than Ozzy in their prime. So all I'm saying is, if I go back and look for the absolute best version of Ozzy, the best version really isn't that great. Ozzy was more famous for his time on MTV, where he was mumbling and yelling, "Sharon! I can't figure out how to use the TV remote. Sharon!" So if you remember, MTV ditched the music in favor of these garbage reality TV shows. And yes, the Osbournes was one of those garbage reality TV shows that replaced the music on MTV.
Oh my god, is he doing the boomer take? Back in my day, they used to play music on MTV. Alright, that business model died. You can watch every music video ever made on YouTube, so why would you sit in front of a TV on linear television just waiting for one you like to pop up? MTV didn't stop playing music videos because they hate you. They stopped because people stopped watching it, and they're a for-profit company. Freyline says, 97 years is a good run. A bit of a masochism tango for a break. When did he die? Was this like just now? Like, was this today that he died?
I ache for the touch of your lips, dear, but much more for the touch of your whips, dear. You can raise welts like nobody else as we dance to the masochism tango. Say our love is a flame, not an ember. Say it's me that you want to dismember. Blacken my eyes set fire to my tie as we dance to the masochism tango. At your command, before you here I stand, my heart is in my hand. Yeah. It's here that I must be, my heart entreats.
I did know that. He released all his music to the public domain, which is the most fucking based thing an artist can do. Bittergrin says, so he's not upset they died because he can just go watch their work, but he's upset MTV doesn't play videos even though he can just watch them? Yeah, he's a douchebag.
Just hear those savage beats, and go put on your cleats, and come and trample me. Your heart is hard as stone or mahogany. That's why I'm in such exquisite agony. My soul is on fire. It's aflame with desire, which is why I perspire when we tango.
I gotta show you my favorite song by him. Hold on. And then we'll continue. This is my favorite song by him, and then we'll continue with conspiracy.
All right. A few weeks ago, the American press reported that China had exploded a nuclear bomb. Now, this was a great leap forward for China, of course, but it was an even greater leap forward for the American press, because for the first time they called it China instead of Red China. For 18 years they've been hoping it would just go away. And for the first time they called it a bomb instead of a device. So, with China possessing the bomb, it makes us wonder, who's next? First we got the bomb, and that was good, 'cause we love peace and motherhood. Then Russia got the bomb, but that's okay, 'cause the balance of power's maintained that way. Who's next? France got the bomb, but don't you grieve, 'cause they're on our side, I believe. China got the bomb, but have no fears, they can't wipe us out for at least 5 years. Who's next? Then Indonesia claimed that they were going to get one any day. South Africa wants 2, that's right. 1 for the black and 1 for the white. Who's next? Egypt's gonna get one too, just to use on you-know-who. So Israel's getting tense, wants one in self-defense. The Lord is our shepherd, says the psalm, but just in case, we better get a bomb. Who's next? Luxembourg is next to go, and who knows, maybe Monaco. We'll try to stay serene and calm when Alabama gets the bomb. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next?
That Alabama punchline holds up. That's kind of funny. Congrats on almost a century of being a punchline, Alabama. We did it.
And what is MTV? Well, some might call it Masonic television.
Is that the guy who wrote Poisoning Pigeons in the Park? Yes, I believe so.
They hooked its original viewers with music. And then they phased away the music, and then they slipped you pop stars like the Backstreet Boys. And then they got rid of the pop stars, and then they served us up straight up reality TV show garbage. And these reality TV shows weren't reality at all.
It's so interesting the way that conspiracy theorists see history as a series of psyops all put together by a centralized them, as opposed to a myriad, like innumerable groups and people working towards their own goals. It's so interesting how they simplify and flatten reality out into this weird black and white linear like line of things they did to me. Not healthy.
So Ozzy is guilty of putting on fake performances with his family. shooting scripted performances with his own family in his own home on garbage MTV. So guys, Ozzy Osbourne is a big club member, and Hulk Hogan is a big club member. And to a lesser extent, I would even say Malcolm Jamal Warner is a big club member. And I think that their scripted deaths are there to keep people in a perpetual state of scripted sadness. Imagine being upset for 3 days in a row over people who you've never...
Does he not understand that you can have, like, a sense of sadness that isn't all-encompassing? Like, you can be a little sad that a celebrity you liked died, but it doesn't, like, depress you. It doesn't, like, ruin your day. It's just like, oh, that's sad. And then you continue to function because you're a person.
Met, who you've only seen on TV or up on a stage.
Like,
right?
he's
These
acting as though everyone is inconsolable about these deaths.
world stage celebrities. They get you to be upset because their character dies. So you might be upset that the character Ozzy Osbourne is dead, or the character Theo Huxtable from The Cosby Show is dead, right? The character Hulk Hogan is dead. But the actual men might very well still be alive somewhere. You know, I can't prove what happens to celebrities after they die. I can't. So I really can't tell you if the original Ozzy is still alive or if the original Ozzy died a long time ago and then they had an imposter up there playing the role of Ozzy and now the character of Ozzy has died off on the world stage. Or maybe there is a celebrity island where Ozzy gets to go retire and finish out the rest of his career out of the public eye.
Like The Prisoner! Ah! Okay, I'm gonna pitch you a series idea, chat. It's The Prisoner, except the island, the village is full of celebrities that have fake died. And Ozzy Osbourne is trying to escape.
He gets to live in a paradise, let's say, a place none of us regular people are allowed to visit, a place none of us peasants are ever allowed to see with our own eyes. So maybe there is a hidden celebrity island somewhere where guys
Bittergrin says Ozzy's not really dead, you guys. They just sent him to a farm upstate.
like Ozzy
They put him on a train. Guess which train? Guess which one? Guess which train?
Osbourne and the Hulkster and Theo from The Cosby Show get to all hang out and retire. I can't prove what happens.
Dillis Filler says, okay, but Hannah, consider he's a man who in such rare occasions when he feels emotions is complete totality except anger. That's not an emotion.
To celebrities when they get replaced or when they die. What I can tell you is Hollywood scriptwriters can script these characters to die and then make money and cash in on their deaths and get people to think and feel a certain way. So if you can control the mind of the sheeple with a character on the world stage and you can script their death and make millions and millions of dollars on that celebrity's death in, let's say, record sales for Ozzy and getting people to go back and watch old videos of Ozzy and Hulk Hogan. So they can preserve these celebrities and preserve their image and script what you think about them. Script how you think and feel about these characters simply by planning their death in a certain way. So to have Ozzy do a farewell concert just before he dies, now the narrative is Ozzy is such a legend because he went up and did that one farewell concert just before he died. How very heroic and epic and legendary of...
Not really heard that. I think people were glad that he got to perform one last time for a lot of his fans, and it was a charity concert, which is nice. And in his condition, performing it all is impressive, but I think you're overstating the way that people have discussed it.
Ozzy to get up there on his throne and perform one last time. They control that narrative with the script. And they trick people into thinking this all just naturally happened. Yeah, it's a good thing that Ozzy didn't die just before his farewell concert.
Yeah, that would have sucked. Yes, you are correct. That would have been unfortunate for everyone who organized it. It probably would have become a tribute show, is my guess.
And it's a good thing that the Hulkster and Ozzy and Theo didn't all die on the same day and make us pick and choose
Celebrities do die on the same day sometimes.
which one that we like the most and overshadow the other celebrity's death. No, you get Ozzy dying, Theo dying, and then the Hulkster dying, all in a row. Wow, what are the odds? I say it's too coincidental, so that's why I'm not sad. I think it's all scripted by men who sit around in a room and come up with this. So guys,
Well, that's a crazy thing to think. Don't you realize that? That's like severely dysfunctional to believe that. That's not true. It's not a good thing to believe.
Script wrestling. They script what's going to happen at upcoming wrestling pay-per-views.
Yes, wrestling is entertainment. Wrestling is explicitly scripted entertainment.
Right? You got to get a match together between your baby face and your heel at SummerSlam or WrestleMania. So you got to concoct a storyline to get those two guys.
This would be like saying television shows are scripted, so obviously real life is scripted. Like, no, that doesn't follow.
In the ring, which means you got to have men sitting around, pen and paper, scripting that stuff, right? So the WWE has script writers.
Every show that's scripted has script writers, yeah.
And politics is just like the WWE.
No, it's not.
And Hollywood.
Chitara says, what are the odds? People die all the time, every single day even. It's not that crazy to see a handful of celebrities dying here and there around the same time. Yeah.
Hollywood is entertainment. The WWE is entertainment. Music is a form of entertainment. It's all entertainment. So when a entertainer on the world stage dies, that means that character is no longer going to be entertaining you on the world stage. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the man who plays the entertainer is actually dead in real life. So,
they're dead.
Again, I'm not sad that any of these celebrities died. And I don't get sad when celebrities die. Mainly because a lot of celebrities are sellouts, and they're really not that great of people, and they really don't deserve to be celebrated in most cases. And because a lot of them might not really be dead. So for those reasons, I am not sad at all that Ozzy scripted died, or that Hulk scripted died, or that Theo Huxtable scripted died. Not sad at all.
I wish I would scripted die.
Won't be shedding any tears.
I wouldn't have to watch this crap anymore.
I will not be posting rest in peace on Facebook or on X, virtue signaling to the world that I am an indoctrinated sheep. Nope. I'll leave all that for the people who believe in these characters on the world stage. If you are one of these people who's sad that celebrities die, and you disagree with me, and you're all butthurt and whatnot.
Oh my god, he's like in his 40s, and he used the word butthurt. Oh, Jesus. I took psychic damage.
Go ahead and tell me all about it in the comments section down below. I would love to hear all about how butthurt you are about what I have said here. So, if you agree with me or you don't agree with me, go ahead and let me know all about it in the comments section. And if you've made it this far in the video, which most people won't, because most people only watch half of a video. But if you're one of...
Wow, he sounds salty about his retention rates. Sorry your videos suck.
The lucky people still here watching, I want to thank you. You're awesome.
We're lucky. Did you hear that? We're so lucky we stuck out this bullshit video.
Can you go ahead and hook a brother up and hit the thumbs up button? I don't know if it's going to help. I don't even know if this platform is going to promote this video at all, but it might help. And I would appreciate it if you would show your appreciation. So if you appreciate this video, show me how much you appreciate it.
Appreciate. Shut up.
By hitting the thumbs up. All right? All right. And I'll see you guys next time in the next video or the next live stream or...
What is the affect he's putting on, by the way? Join me in my next video. I'm going to put on the next video. Just like it. It's going to be good. It's got like a particular cadence. What's that about? All right. I think that that's it for this stream. We're going on about 3 hours. Like I said, we are doing our patron and YouTube member only live stream after this. So give me like 15-20 minutes to grab some more water, go see Baja for a little bit, see the cats, and then I'll come back and we're going to do the patron and YouTube member show. So join us there. If you'd like to be a part of that, you can become a member on YouTube or a paid patron member, and you'll get your links on your YouTube community tab and the Patreon feed, respectively. So, have a good... Oh, I gotta see who we're gonna raid, actually, before we go. Who are we gonna raid? If you haven't followed already, by the way, give me a follow. I'd appreciate it. I stream almost every day, so... If you liked it, come back. We have a fun community and a Discord. So join Discord. Oh, VC Archives is live, and it has been a while. Here, join the Discord. Why does that sound like Sanford and Son? It's not. No, that's dun 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 dun. Bam 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 bam. Alright. I'll see y'all later. Or soon if you're a member on YouTube or a patron. Alright. See you in a little bit. Bye everyone. Bam dun dun it. I'm coming, Elizabeth!